Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Best Today podcast. I'm your host, Shantae Grant. And today I want to talk to you about what to do when you stop being consistent. This month, the month of May 2023, when this episode will air, we're in the middle of a collective consistency challenge. And on our kickoff call, we talked about the fact that when you sign up for something like a challenge to be consistent with something, it's inevitable at some point someone is going to miss a day. And so we're not only talking about today what to do when you stop being consistent for one day, but what about when you stop being consistent over time? Something that you used to do daily or weekly that you had done for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, and you want to get back to it. So whether you are thinking in terms of, man, I was consistent with something and I stopped for a day or two, or I stopped for weeks or months, this episode is for you because I know this is a human thing when it comes to consistency. So I want to talk to you about exactly what to do. And then at the end, I'm going to share a post from the Best Today community where someone was sharing just that thing about her consistency. And it'll tie back to what we're going to talk about briefly in this episode. So this is not going to be long. I'm going to go straight to it. When you have found that you've stopped being consistent for whatever reason, whether it was you just knew you should have done it and you didn't feel like it felt hard, it felt challenging, you were sick, you were traveling, whatever the reason might be. What usually happens when you realize that you haven't done X, Y, or Z in a while is you start telling yourself these different stories about, I'm just so far behind now. I haven't done so long. It doesn't matter if I go another day, or it's going to be so hard when I get back to it. I was doing so good. Well, since I haven't done it, I don't even deserve to get back to this. I'm not able to be consistent. This is proof that I just can't keep up with this. I can't X, Y, or Z, or, I'm just not the same. I'm not even going to be able to do it again. I'm not going to be any good. The first thing is to acknowledge if any of those are thoughts or things that are similar are floating through your mind, if that's what you're thinking when it comes to getting back started with whatever it is that you weren't being consistent with. Consistent people make a decision daily. It's not some superhuman trait, right? If you look at people, which stop looking at people, but if they're people and you think, man, they're just so consistent. They just get up and they go and they go and they do the thing. They're consistent with their word. And we're talking about positive consistency, not consistently awful, right? Yes, there are people who have strengthened their consistency muscle, right? I'm one of those people, but it's still a choice. The thing that makes consistent people stay consistent is they've seen and they trust the benefits of consistency. And so wherever you are on the scale of consistency, where it's the low end, where it's like, I really struggle with consistency, or the high end where typically I am going to stay consistent. What I want you to understand is there's room to move. There's room for you to move and to strengthen it. But it's going to take some mental resolve to say, I am just going to start again. I'm going to get back to the thing. Because it's literally, I really could just end the podcast now. It's a daily decision. It's a moment by moment decision. Sometimes a minute by minute decision. There is no trick. There is no hack. There is no one affirmation to say. And it's just like, boom, that it is a decision. And maybe that's what you need to hear, that because sometimes what people think is, oh, I just don't have that trait. That's a cop out, and that's an excuse to give yourself a reason to say, oh, that's why I'm not consistent. I just don't have that trait. So I'm going to debunk that myth right here. It's not some type of superhuman trait. You have the same capacity. You have the same ability, let me say that, to make the decision. It's a daily decision. So if you think about, oh, such and such is so consistent, just know, just like you, it is a daily choice. And so my question is, do you trust that your life is better when you're consistent with whatever the things are that you like to do, that you know are best for you? Do you feel better? Do you do better? Do you think better and differently? When you are consistent with the things that are important to you, you know what life looks and feels like. So decide to just start again. Make the decision and do it. Yes, it is going to require effort, but you are worth the effort. Yes, it is going to require effort, but you are worth the effort. Okay? I want you to just start back the physical act of the thing that you were being consistent with. Because one thing I want you to understand is sometimes starting the physical act has to happen before the mental and the emotional acceptance of like, okay, this is right. This is why I do this. This is why it feels good. Sometimes you have to just start the thing before you get back to that. Because sometimes that's what happens. People are like, oh, I'm just waiting for that feeling to come back. Like, oh, come on, you can, yeah, the feelings sometimes aren't at the front. The feelings come when you start doing the thing again, and that reminds you of why you were doing it. And that doesn't always happen the first time, second time, third time, because especially if you've been away from doing something, it might feel uncomfortable. It might feel new. It might feel different. So I need you to understand that sometimes our actions precede the understanding. Sometimes our actions precede the understanding, the mental clarity. I'm going to just get back to it, trusting that I know this is good for me or this helps me in my life, in my work or whatever. And that love, that strength, that all that other stuff will come, but I have to start moving first. You know that being consistent with X, Y, or Z is best for you, but the full acceptance of that truth hasn't really clicked in yet. I think a lot of times people are waiting for that to fall out of the sky, and it's not going to fall. So you just have to start. The one word answer, and I could have said this and then been like, thank you for listening. The one word answer to what do you do when you stop being consistent is start. Be willing to start again without overthinking it, without judgment. You just start and then start again and then do it again and then again and again and then again and again and then again and then again, right? That is the actual answer to the question of what do you do when you stop being consistent? And again, that can be with anything. Over in the community, someone shared, I'm going to go to that post, about this very thing with being consistent. I won't read all of it. It's a long post, but she was saying that she wanted to come and share that she hadn't been using her Best Today guide for the last 3 weeks, and she's having a hard time restarting. And she walked through the process, and even just in posting it and sharing the process, she had some revelations in that really matched some of the things I was talking about. So she says, day one, you get up in the morning. Oh, I forgot to do my Best Today guide last night. That's okay. I'll do it in the morning before work. And then she says that didn't happen. So now it's the afternoon. I'm so tired after the crazy day. I'll do my Best Today guide tomorrow. Okay. So day one, we had a full day, nothing written in the Best Today guide. Day 2 through 6, repeat. Day 7. Okay. I did a week of no Best Today guide. I'll start again tomorrow. And then she writes, mental emotional story starts to build. Well, you haven't done it this week. And let's say you don't like, I'm trying to make sure I read it. You haven't done your Best Today guide because you can't be consistent with yourself because you don't care about yourself. Why are you trying so hard if you're just going to keep failing? It's better just not to try. Day 8 through the present, when she posted this, I should do my Best Today guide, but I haven't been doing it. And it's something for people who keep their word for themselves. And I clearly don't do that. Then she writes, after typing this out, I realized there is so much that's not true. I'm also seeing some agreements that I've made with myself and or believed about myself that are really not great. Like I'm not consistent for myself. I don't deserve this good thing. This nice thing is wasted on me. I'm going to fail. And the boss level, I'm not worthy of loving myself. At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today. Today, we have a 5-star review of the Anytime Today Journal from Emily. Emily writes, the journal I didn't know I needed! Okay. So the main thing is that I've used this every day, all caps, sometimes multiple times a day since I received it, and I don't usually journal. I'm about to use it now after I post this. She has a picture for you to see if you'd like to go look at it. It has just woven itself into my days like a supportive little friend. The prompting, which seemed deceptively simple at first, is game changing because it gets me thinking / self-connecting and makes it easier to jump in as opposed to just staring at an empty page. It makes journaling more accessible, which has been helping my mental health on tough days. Thank you so much, Emily, for sharing how the Anytime Today Journal has been a supportive friend to you and really giving you a place to better self-connect. That's exactly why I created it, to help you right where you are, to help you all check in with yourself as often as you need. And here's the thing, we all need to check in with ourselves. So this isn't a question of, is this Anytime Today Journal for me? It is, and how do I get it in my hands? And that's by going to besttoday.co and to order your Anytime Today Journal. We will also link it to the show notes to today's episode. You can click there and order your Anytime Today Journal for your simple and effective way to check in with yourself at any time. Thank you again, Emily, for the 5-star review. So I share this because I know even if you're unaware of it, this is why it's so important to really listen into yourself, why I created the Anytime Today Journal, so that you can start tapping into really learning to listen to yourself. But what I love in this post is the self-awareness. After she typed everything out, to understand, she was telling herself, I don't deserve this good thing. This thing was created for people who do this. And I know so many of you have done that, maybe are doing that. This was created for people who, and I'm not that. That's not true. If something was created to help you, it was created to help you right where you are, right? You don't buy a treadmill and be like, oh, this is made for people who can run 15 miles. No problem. It wasn't. It was made for a person who wanted to get movement at the speed where you are. And so if you haven't gotten on it in 6 weeks, it's not, oh, I don't deserve that because I can't get on it and run exactly how I ran before. Well, where did that expectation come from? One of my favorite questions is, where did that come from? Where did it come from that the expectation is that you're going to come back to something and you're going to do it exactly how you would? Even when I am consistent with things, how I do something one day is not necessarily how I'm going to do it the second day. Just because on Thursday I was able to hold the plank and slide and move and all that for a minute in Pilates class doesn't mean on Friday I can do it if I did it Thursday. That's not what consistency is. But what is consistent is I came in and I put in the effort that I had today. And that takes me back to this is what my best today looks like. Stop thinking about the other voices and don't be the negative voice. Like sometimes it's like, it's not even someone else's voice. It's the one, you're being your own bully, right? Like I say, sometimes you're the source of your own misery. Identify that, because a lot of times that is the real thing that's holding you back when you stop being consistent. You've made it about a shoulda, coulda, woulda that I didn't meet. And because I didn't meet it, I can't just go back. When you can just start the physical act and let that start to help to ungunk up some of the thoughts and the things and the stories. Okay. So what do when you stop being consistent? You start again. You just make that decision to start again and again and again with the understanding that it's without judgment, without overthinking it, without expectation of I need to do it exactly how I did it before, understanding and honoring yourself. And that's the honest answer. And if you need help with really processing the things that are going on within your heart and mind, I want to encourage you to order the Anytime Today Journal if you haven't already. It's just such a fantastic tool that is so important in underlying really maneuvering this life. It is just such a vital product that can help you right where you are, because it helps you to understand. Like what I love about this post in the Best Today community was that in writing all this out, that's how she got the clarity of what was really going on. And then she found out why she really hadn't started. And that's what the Anytime Today Journal can do for you and everything in your life, not just about consistency, but it helps you to unpack and unthink these things in a really simple way with those 4 prompts. Today I am, today I need, today I feel, today I want. So you can order the Anytime Today Journal at besttoday.co or by going to anytimetodayjournal.com. And that's what I have for you today, my friends. Let me know. This is the beginning of a conversation, as I say with every episode. So please come back, talk to me. Don't just sit at the lunch table or wherever you are. We're going for a walk and I look over to you and I say all these things and you just look at me and walk away. conversate with me. You can do that by leaving a voice message at besttoday.co/voice or posting in the Best Today community, which you can join for free. Your first 3 days are free at besttodaycommunity.com, or you can always text us at 404-737-1002. Thank you for being present with me for this week's episode of the Best Today podcast. Until next time, remember that you are capable and worthy of being your best one today at a time. And you have everything you need to have everything you want, which means you have what you need to just start. So go on and shout it out as you live it out. This is what my best today looks like. I'll talk to you on the next episode. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Best Today podcast, you are going to love the Best Today Guide. Our Better Than a Planner guide teaches you how to get clear on what you want, identify your self-destructive habits and behaviors, and intentionally create space to prioritize yourself every single day. Don't go the journey to being your best one today at a time without the Best Today Guide. See inside its pages and order yours today at besttodayguide.com. Even better, when you order the Best Today Guide, we gift you with your first month free inside of the Best Today membership. So what are you waiting for? We're giving you everything you need to trade busy for intention. Go to besttodayguide.com and order yours today and join thousands of women across the globe proclaiming each day, this is what my best today looks like.